Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, LaffinBoy here, and today I'm bringing you another episode of Tales from Laffin. This one, I'm going to call the road trip to Austin, or the Austin road trip. Spoiler alert, we didn't make it. Anyway, so this happened right about 1987, 86, somewhere around there. That was when I graduated high school, or for those that don't know, here high school is the last 4 years of school. So when I say I graduated from high school, I mean I graduated from the 12th grade. Anyway, I know bad, I should cough into my elbow, but I'm home and my hand sanitizer is right there. Anyway, what happened was we decided we were going to take a road trip, me and a couple of friends. Now, at the time, I had a 1973 Oldsmobile Omega with a Rocket 350 in it. What that means is the Oldsmobile Omega was the Oldsmobile version of the Nova, and it had the Oldsmobile version of the Chevrolet 350 in it, the 350 cubic inch engine. It had, there was some slight differences, and I had a 4-barrel carburetor on it, which is a quadrojet. It came with the car. Anyway, it was a muscle car. It would not do for me to have that car today. It wasn't a really good idea for me to have that car then either. Anyway, yeah, I loved that car. It had enough power to get me in trouble. So, as you will see. Anyway, my friends and I decided that we were going to go to Austin. Didn't have any reason to go there. We just decided we're going to go to Austin. We'd never been there, we'd never seen it. We lived in the Waco area. I don't remember exactly where I lived at the time, and I don't think I think I might have been to Keith's house one time, but I think I went to Bobby's house once too. But anyway, it was around Waco. So we get in the car and we're driving down the highway. We're a bunch of 18, 19-year-old kids, and well, as we're driving down the road, somebody passed me, or I passed somebody. I don't know which way it got started, but I got into this kind of a contest with me and this dude in this little 4-wheel drive truck. I think it might have been like an extended cab S10 or a Toyota or something. Anyway, it was a small 4-wheel drive truck, maybe what was considered mid-size at the time. But we're going down the road and we keep passing each other until we come upon some traffic. And I let out of it. I let the guy get ahead of me a little ways, kind of give him the idea that that it's over and we're done. We're not going to play anymore. But we had full intention of continuing to play. I just wanted to show off. So, let the guy get a little bit ahead. We were still watching him. We could still see him. And then my friend here in the passenger seat, he says, okay, now go get him. So I did. I started weaving through traffic and cutting through, and I came up and I just pulled right in front of him, and that lit him up. he was, you could tell he was mad. Tell he was mad because what he did next. I pulled up where, there's the car in front of me going down the highway. I pulled up where there's not enough room. I made sure to maintain, just enough space where, there was no room for that truck to get in there. But the truck comes around me, and he goes in there anyway. Now we're going down a highway that has 2 lanes going one way, a median, and 2 lanes going the other way. So, so when he comes over, I try to avoid him, and what I do is I wind up in the median. Well, so instead of backing up and pulling back up into the road like a normal person or somebody that was lightly sane, I decide I'm going to pass this dude. So I hit it. We're doing 90 plus in a ditch, basically. The car that was in front of me disappeared. I don't know where that car went, but he didn't want none of this. That person didn't want any of this. So, traffic cleared up, which is a good thing because, anyway, I decide I'm going to pass this dude in the median. Now I know I see there's a bridge coming up, so I got to get this done. So I'm going along, and somewhere along the line, either he threw a beer bottle at me or a beer bottle came up out of the grass or something. I don't know. A beer bottle hit my car. That's all I know. But didn't do anything, thankfully. I didn't do anything that I ever found out about anyway. So anyways, as I'm passing the guy, and I'm just about to where I can pull back up in front of him, I hit a bump or hit something, and the front end of my car starts doing this. So the whole car is vibrating, and I know I am about to lose control of this car. So I start to pull back up onto the road, but when I do, the car with the steer tires, doing this, I already don't have full control over the car. So when I go to turn, the car doesn't just ease back over. The car does this. The car just jumps. And the car just vibrating, and it just kind of it goes back up on the road in one movement like that. And I almost hit the dude. The dude hits the brakes and swerves out of the way. Hits the brakes and pulls over, into the road. He pulls over away from me. Man. So obviously the dude was mad before I did that. He was really, really angry before I did that. So he had, I don't know, he was probably seeing red at this time. So wisely, I think, I stepped on the gas because I've got this, I got this Rocket 350 under the hood, and he's driving a small 4-wheel drive pickup. I'm pretty sure he didn't have the horsepower I did. And I'm also pretty sure he didn't have the gearing that I did. So I left him. And we were almost out of his sight when I realized as the speedometer went this way, the gas gauge went this way. I was almost out of gas. I was sitting on empty. I definitely did not want this dude to catch me on the highway, sitting on the side of the highway out of gas. So we turned off. As we turn off, we see the dude, I'm watching him in the rear view. And of course, they're watching, they're looking at him to see where he's going. So we pull off the highway. We know this guy sees us, and we're further convinced when he hits that same exit ramp. We pulled off into some random community. I can't find it. If I had to, if my life depended on finding where I pulled off that day, I couldn't do it. But we turned off. We're going down the road, and we're all kind of freaking out. And as we're going down this main road, Bobby in the passenger seat, he says, "Turn here, turn here." For some reason, I'm thinking that magically Bobby knows where we are and is trying to tell me a good place to go to get rid of this guy. None of us had ever seen this place. We didn't know where we were. So when I turn, I wind up turning into a parking lot of what I think was a motorcycle repair shop. So, and the driveway went up. It was, the thing was sitting on kind of a hill. So I turn, I pull up, and I stop because there's a building in front of me. And I'm trying to figure out what to do. And, I wound up, I think somehow, for some stupid reason, I wound up putting the car in park. This guy pulls up, and, he pulls up in the same parking lot, gets out of his truck, starts coming straight at me. Now, this is the first time we had gotten a really good look at this dude. And, of course, my memory is probably a little bit flawed. But the dude was built like a brick house, This dude, he wasn't Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but he might be a shorter version of him. At least that's what he looked like to us. Now, at the time, I was 6'3", but I was about this big. I was about this big around. I probably weighed 140 pounds. And of course, none of us were big. Bobby was, I think was like 5 foot something. He was kind of a short dude. And none of us were like, muscle bound or, like, we weren't ninjas. We were all scared out of our mind because that dude was huge. At least he looked huge to us. Well, he comes over there, and as he's walking over there, I'm freaking out. I'm rolling up my windows. It had crank windows. It was 73, and it was a 73, and it was a muscle car. It wasn't a luxury. So I'm cranking up that window, and I lock the door. And dude comes over there and just starts bashing my window. He just starts hitting it with, and I swear that window was coming in. It kept coming in like that. It kept coming in. Like, I was scared out of my mind. Meanwhile, the passenger door was wide open with the window down, but nobody noticed that at the time. As I'm standing there watching this dude, watching my window come in, and knowing that eventually this guy is going to break my window. And also being fully aware that shortly after he breaks my window, he's going to break me. I'm freaking out. I am frozen. I have no idea what to do. Keith in the back seat has this brilliant idea. He says, drive, drive, put it in drive. So I wake up, put it down in drive, and take off. Drive down the hill and get away and drive away. Now, this does give us a little bit of time because the dude has to get back in his truck to go follow us or chase us. And we wind up, we find this place where they're building a bunch of houses, and we go running through there. We actually lose him in there and turn around and go back, and we make it to the gas station. All we needed to do was put $5 worth of gasoline in that car and take off, outrun this dude, and go, and go somewhere else and fill the car up. Now, none of us, we were all scared out of our mind, and nobody was brave enough to put the gas in the car. So we all three went into the store. Now, at the time, we were kind of relieved of, that we lived through that, and we were all, kind of, as you would be, we were kind of laughing. And we told, I was telling the store clerk what was going on, what had gone on, and well, we wound up, as we were laughing about this, we see the dude come up, slow down, pull into the parking lot. So us being the brave souls that we were, we went and hid in the bathroom. All three of us. Now the guy comes in here and he's yelling at the clerk, said, "Where did they go?" And of course the clerk said, "They're in the bathroom." Real helpful. Yeah, that was great. So anyway, so the dude comes back there, and he starts knocking on the door with his shoulder. And he's just, I don't know, he starts bashing that door. And the clerk says something about, you can't do that, you can't do that. He said, "I'll pay for it." Bam! "You can't do that, you can't do that. I'll pay for it." Bam! And that went on for a little bit until the door came in. I'm petrified. Bobby and Keith are trying to hold the door. I'm frozen. I'm scared out of my mind and standing back up against the wall. I am terrified. Anyway, so dude finally breaks the door in, and yes, I lived through this. When the door, as the door breaks, it, instead of, just falling in, it spins. It comes in, diagonally. So, dude stepping over the top, and as he's stepping over the top, Bobby and Keith are going under the bottom. He steps over, and he looks, I think it was, anyway, he steps over and he looks and he, sees them, whichever way. And he looks and he sees them going through there, and he looks back up and he says, you were driving, and punches me in the face. And then he goes after Bobby and Keith, and he punches me in the face. My glasses fly off. I mean, he hits me right here. Glasses fly off, and the lens pops out. When he turns around and he walks over, he turns around and goes after Bobby and Keith. I'm just trying to pick up my glasses, and still scared out of my mind. Cops get there pretty quickly and keep us from getting massacred. Because, well, he went, apparently, when he went in there, he grabbed Bobby. Bobby had been taking a little bit of, had been taking martial arts, but he only had like a blue belt, and he was, you know, he's like, well, if I kick the dude, he's probably gonna have brass balls. He was anyway. So as it turned, the way it turned out, you know, of course the dude was held responsible for the door, and the cop asked, because he said you don't have to, but but it would be it'd be a good thing to, if you guys helped him pay for that door. And we kind of gave the officer information. Of course, the teller wasn't going to sell us no gasoline. So we didn't give the guy anything. We didn't help do the door. We never heard anything from any of them again, thankfully. We went down the street to a Texaco, put gas in the car, and went home. As we were standing in that gas station, we saw him get on the highway, and we decided we're not going that way anymore. Anyway, that is the end of that story. We did survive it. No, definitely not blameless in this story. Anyway, I thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Stay safe and stay healthy. LaffinBoy out. Also, do not try any of this at home. I don't know how I'll live through that.